Mike's Unleashed coming at you. You got your man D. Megan Hawk. Hawk, what's
Yo,
up? What's good
man, glad to be back. Glad to see another day. What's good with you?
today? But look, let's just jump right into it.
So let's roll into that. What do you think about
Roll
sponsoring women?
into
Maybe that's
sponsoring women. I
okay.
don't know where this has come from, but this now is the thing, right? So men should be sponsoring women when they go out on dates, right? Hey, you ask a woman out on a date, she was just like, all right, but you know what? Send me this cash app, send me, Zelle me this money and stuff like this for a date. Wait, we're talking about date. Like, let me get to know you,
Uh,
but I must sponsor you first. I'm seeing this trend and I don't understand it. I don't get it, and miss me with that bullshit. For any woman that comes and is talking about that, there's no
okay.
reason for this. Like, what is a woman? What are your expectations of saying just because you meet a guy and a guy likes you, that now he has to sponsor your lifestyle? What? Eh, what the?
No. I think that we're in a day and age where women make as much money as men nowadays. So this whole
Facts.
sponsoring you back in the day, like no, I just shouldn't say that. I say women make close to as much money as men. I know there's a lot of situations where women are underpaid, but a lot of women make more money than men nowadays. So the whole idea of sponsoring a woman or taking care of a woman when you go out, when you first meet her, you paying for the dinner and all that, those days are kind of behind themselves. I understand the whole being a gentleman type thing, but a lot of women make as much money as men. So why does a man need to sponsor a woman nowadays? In my opinion, if a woman asks you out, hey, why can't she pay? If you choose as
That's
the
the
man to
move.
pay, okay. But if a woman asks you out, why can't she not pay? I'm
Facts.
curious. I would love to
No,
hear the
no.
comments.
There,
Why
there's
can't
no
she pay?
there's no reason. If it's always the way we was, if you ask someone out, then the responsibility goes on the one who asked out. That means you are
Yeah.
assuming all the financial responsibility of that evening. And if a woman asks a man out in 2024, then chick, you should be responsible for that date. That's just it. Women are
Yeah.
more bolder now. Women don't wait for men, to ask them. They're more aggressive. So by you being that type of an aggressive female, then shouldn't you be the one to go ahead and just say, hey, you know what? This meal's on me. I think that more men would appreciate a woman who would step up and just say, hey, you know what? I got this. This meal's on me. So then he understands from the get go that you're just not a freeloader, just looking at him for
Mm.
his money, because you actually are having that conversation with him, right?
But but the
You're trying to
expectation
do something.
is right. The expectation is because most men were raised that they have to pay, to pay for the meal, to put the money out, pay for the entrance into wherever they're going, into the comedy show, into the movies, or whatever it is. That's how men were raised back in today. Because men back then usually, were the breadwinners, had more money coming in. But nowadays, like you said, times have changed. Women are making a lot of money, right? Women now want equal rights to be as equal as men in every single way. So why does that stop at just jobs? Why can't that carry on into the dating life, right? Into anything, into the comedy shows where a woman picks up a tab. She decides she's going to pay to take them out. Now there are some women who will do it, but the majority of women will sit there, order everything on the menu, and look at you to pay.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And listen, we're talking about, and this isn't, well, I'm not trying to bash women. This is just trying to
Not at all.
understand why are women so, why do they feel so entitled now? And why does it feel as if men must pay for them, must sponsor, must provide anything? There's once again, and this came to me, there's multiple clips I see where if a woman goes to dinner or has a birthday dinner with her and her girlfriends, she's expecting her man to pay for everyone. Like, I've seen
Mm.
this on so many different like videos and everything like that, that it baffles me. Wait a minute, dear, it is your birthday. I'm your man. I'm telling you, yes, invite as many of your friends you want to come to this event, but my responsibility should just be to my woman, not your girlfriends. But oh, it's
Mhm.
always like the females and everyone wants to call the man broke or is the man dirty for not doing it. Where have we come in space right now that this is just the acceptable behavior? That if you don't take care of your girl or your girl at the time and her friends, now you're looked at as a scrub. You're looked at as broke. How are the tables turned so drastic that this is the norm? Like, I
Yeah, it's more, but
I'm
in the same breath, I think when women go out to dinner, right, they shouldn't be expected to be taken to a place that they wouldn't pay for themselves, right? A lot of times, I
But they
think
do.
women, they do, right? They want to go out to a place that's super expensive that they couldn't even afford themselves, right? And if a
I,
man doesn't take them there, then he's like you said, cheap. He's a scrub, whatever it may be. Look, in my opinion, if your wallet couldn't pay for it yourself, then don't be expected to be taken there. Now, if he chooses to take you there, then okay. But the expectation that he has to take you somewhere high end and super expensive, why? If you couldn't afford that to yourself, like, there's the comments. What do you bring to the table? How much money you bring to the table? Could you afford this yourself? If you couldn't, then don't sit there and be angry, upset, or whatever it may be because he took you to what, Cheesecake Factory or TGI Fridays or whatever it may be. It's all good.
yeah.
The
You're
idea
getting a meal. Like
is, right?
you're
Right?
getting a meal. This man's spending time, spending money with you, and they want to be subjective of or dictate where they go. Like, come on, if
Yes.
that's the case, you plan the date and you take the man out. But if a man wants to sit up here and take you to Cheesecake Factory or whatever, why is that on a list of the number one places women don't want to go on dates? If you don't want to go, then you plan a date and you take the man where you're going to. But the expectation is, hey, if you want to be with me, then he has to provide with these needs. But if you ain't got the money
Right.
for him, why should he sit up here and be expected to deal with a situation and put himself out there to spend
Mhm.
money on you when you wouldn't do the same? Like it's
When you would
I'm
do
saying
the
these
same.
new breed of women and just their I guess I want to say, their objectivity of just, expectation that you're going to do this for me or I'm going to find somebody who can. My my response is find another sucker then. Like that's
Right.
how I
So
feel.
I will say that women, they are entitled to have an expectation of what they want or what they desire. I just think don't let your expectation be so unreal that it's something you can't even afford yourself, right? Have realistic expectations and put yourself in that person's shoes and look at your own wallet and say, okay, well, I couldn't pay for a place that costs $400 a meal. So why should I expect him to go and pay for a place that costs $400 a meal? Because you know yourself, that's extremely expensive. Like, be real, stay grounded, right? Your guy that he goes out to dinner, the guy that takes you out to dinner is not your sponsor, right? He's
Yeah.
asking you to take you out somewhere where y'all can eat and potentially have a good conversation, right? It's just not about spending $400-500 on you, right?
Yeah.
And because he doesn't spend $400 or $500 on you, doesn't mean that he thinks you're not worth it. It may not be in his budget, and it's that
Right.
simple. So, control your expectations. Like sometimes I think they're just too high when people are dating, and your job as a man dating a woman is not to sponsor her. That is not your
No.
job. It's not to
No.
pay $500 for a meal for her.
A date. Like basically $500 a date is something that they're expecting. So every time a man is taking you out, he's expected to drop $500 on food, drinks, and stuff like that. Like that's just not realistic. I'm sorry. And for women who have those expectations, listen. Best of luck to you in your future in finding you a future soulmate who can provide on that level. But I don't know if it's really if that's the life that you really are expecting. And
That's right. Right. Like
and I
sometimes
think the
people just
expectations are stupid. Just
their
it's just not
expectations are,
realistic. Yeah, it's just
you
not
know,
realistic.
now you do have some men out there that do those things, that spend a lot of money on women, spend a lot of money on their dates, whoever they're taking out. They spend a lot of money. They take them to the finest of the finest places. That's great, but I just don't think that should be the expectation, right? The expectation is you're going to go out, you're going to have a good meal, hopefully, and a good time, right? That should be
Good
the
time.
expectation. Whether it's
It,
$100 meal or a $500 meal, the overall goal is to have a good time and enjoy yourself. It's not for the guy to go out and sponsor you financially and break his wallet to show his appreciation for you. I think that's the wrong way to look at it in this world of dating. I just think it's the wrong way to look at it because I think you get your feelings hurt in the long run.
One hundred
Absolutely, in the
percent,
long run, you
one
get your
hundred
feelings
percent.
hurt.
Because if you're spending, and we'll go with this. If you're spending, if most men are spending that kind of money on their date, they're expecting something back in return. Right, wrong, and indifferent. But men will start dropping money. They was like, well, I'm expecting something in return. But we also know then that goes into a whole nother sticky situation, right? There's
Yeah, and
situations
we
like,
could
yeah,
touch on that. And we could
we I
touch on
mean we
that for the men.
grown men, we can talk about it. That's just it's
For those
realistic.
men, yeah, for those men, I think that who are expecting something in return. I think that's the wrong way to look at it, right? You never should do anything expecting something in return. Like, what are you expecting in return? You expecting sex from a lady in return because you spend $500 on her? I mean, that's the wrong way to look at it, in my opinion. And if that's how you are looking at it, then you need to put that out front to the lady and say, "Hey, I'm taking you to I don't know, Morton Steakhouse or Del Frisco's, and I'm gonna spend six hundred
Yeah.
dollars on you. And at the end of the night, I want to have sex with you. If that's what you're putting out there, be clear. But don't take a woman out expecting something in return, because then you may get your feelings hurt.
Facts. He may get his feelings hurt. But I gotta say, if a guy says that to a woman and she's okay with it, then at least you've set the expectations up front. And it's about
Put it
she's
up
like,
front.
oh yeah, you take me to dinner, boom. Then I'm gonna give you sex afterwards. Then hey, you know what? Knock yourself out. So I'm not against it. If a woman
I'm
is
not
down to
against
do
it.
that, I'm not against it. As long as it's put out there from the beginning, knock yourselves out. But don't just sit up here and just say, oh, you're taking me to this dinner, you're gonna spend $400 or $500, but I'm not giving you nothing. What type of girl do you think I am? Then hey, you know what? Maybe you need to stop it right then and there. Because if you have the expectation that you spend this money and she's gonna give it to you, and she says no because maybe she has some standards and everything like that, hey, let her be and feel the way she is, but you better walk away. You better just
Look,
walk away
man,
from that situation right there. I gotta say,
facts.
it's not something you want to be a part of. Don't be the dude that does it, and then when she doesn't give up, then you're on the news because you done sit up and caught a
Facts,
situation.
right? Right.
You don't
Be
want that.
transparent. Like in this dating world, like, be transparent about your communication, right? Transparency is the key, right? If you have expectations, be transparent about your expectations. Everybody ain't for everybody. So, but there's somebody for everybody, right? So be transparent, say what you want. Look, if you're taking somebody out, I'm taking you out and I'm whining and dying you, and at the end of the night I want some ass. If you gonna say that, well then do what you gonna do. Just be transparent about it, because people can make the best decision when they have the best information, when they're informed of what the expectation is. And then nobody's surprised at the end of the night, right? She may look at you and be like, nah, I'm cool. Or she could say, that's what I'm talking about. That's all I wanted anyway. A good meal for you to beat this up. If that's what she wants, then okay. Just be
And
transparent.
there's nothing wrong with it. There's plenty of women out there that are like that. There's plenty of dudes who appreciate the honesty. Like, be
Facts.
transparent. Communication is the key. Like I said, that's the biggest problem that we have, is not being truthful or being honest with what we want. If that's all that you want from him and from her, say it from the get-go so that you both are on the
Say
same
it.
page. And then boom, keep it moving. You go eat, you go drink, and you smash, and everyone's happy about it. Knock yourself out.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy at the end of the night. Ain't nobody potentially catching the charge because the man got too aggressive because he wasn't transparent with what he wanted. Like, just be transparent. Like you said, the key to relationships is transparency and communication. So if you have an expectation and your expectation is X, then you make sure she agrees with X, and then y'all make X. It is what it is, right? But if your expectation is X and hers is Y, oh, y'all got problems, right?
You
You
got
have problems at
problems.
that point. So yeah, keep it
So
100 in any situation.
listen. This is Mike Solis, yo. We appreciate everybody's time. Yo, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Yo, just come at us. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you feel about our comments and everything like that. We'll get back with you. Yo, this is D Mega and this is Hawk going out for
Yeah,
everybody out there. Mike Solis, turn our mics up. We are out.
peace.
Peace.